Vegas Scoreboard Express, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 6 on AM 1400 KSHP North Las Vegas. Online at kshp.com.
Keep it locked with your boy on the ones and twos. Going in on the wheels of steel.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball. That's the truth. This is it.
The cocaine and the crack.
They all sound the same to me.
There's a war going on outside. No man is safe from.
Scoreboard with rainbow.
That's how I'm living.
That's how we do it. That's just the way it is. That's the reason why I came to you.
Drink and women and money.
Good morning, Las Vegas. All of my sports bettors around the world. You're rocking with the boss of the big board, JB the Ticket. And Vegas Scoreboard Express back at you live. KSHP 107.1 FM here in Las Vegas. And AM 1400 waking you up early every Saturday and Sunday morning. Very excited to be with you guys today. Got a lot of big talk about this college football. The NFL preseason is on deck. Got my main man, Ron, third down best bets line with me this morning. Ron, how you doing?
I'm well, sir. How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. Trying to beat down these technical difficulties yesterday. You know that the editing laptop from the editing laptop team, the screen exploded. So again, all you guys that were looking to get the show on the digital side, it will be released today. Yesterday, had my main man, Brian Snow from Snowman in the Morning, VSX Digital Sports contributor. And, of course, you guys are going to be able to check him out again this fall from VSX Digital Sports Networks right here on KSHP. So, Ron, you hang on the line when I get back from this short commercial break. We're going to be breaking down the NFL preseason with Ron. And then today, the Raiders' first preseason game at home versus the San Francisco 49ers. And they seem to be a dog that is barking. +4 on the spread, +160. We're going to jump all over it, let you know where to get those picks. And then we're doing the Big 10 college preview with my main man, John Ryan from the Predictive Sports Playbook, making sure that he's going to be able to give you all the information that you're looking for to get where you want to be. And then, of course, our Sunday baseball picks with Scotty, Beam 'em up Webb. So you're definitely going to want to stay tuned until the end of the show for that. So like I said before, follow me on Instagram at JB the Ticket. Go to my website, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. It's going to be a good morning for you. We're going to be putting some cash in your pocket, so keep it locked. Now let's get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball. JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease. Kick off the football season with Drizzly.com. Score big with your favorite drinks delivered right to your doorstep. From ice cold brews to game day cocktails, we've got the perfect lineup for your football gatherings. Visit VegasScoreboardExpress.com and click the Drizzly. Now let's get the party started. Drink responsibly. Must be of legal drinking age. Delivery and availability may vary. Skip your cable bill this month and join the action with JB and FUBO TV. Get 7 days free, 15% off your first month. No credit check, no deposit, no installation hassle. Go to FUBOTV.com/JB. Sign up, download the app, and start watching games.
Enjoy being a subscriber after the first month. Easy cancellation anytime. Regional restrictions apply. Sign up at VegasScoreboardExpress.com.
You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network.
More fire, more heat.
This next is move.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball. Vegas Scoreboard Express.
JB the Ticket back at you live here, Vegas Scoreboard Express. Waking you up early in the morning every Saturday and Sunday. Got my main man, Ron, third down best bets on the line with me. Again, you can follow him over on Instagram at RaiderHawk1. Ron, good morning to you. So glad to have you back on the line with us. How you doing?
wonderful, sir. How are you?
Doing good, man. Getting ready to get into this NFL preseason with you. Again, this being brought to you by our sponsors over at FUBO TV. Don't waste your time with cable this year. We've got the NFL Red Zone. We have got the NFL Network, Fox Sports, CBS. Guys won't miss a game if you're a serious sports bettor. Got to have that information and got to have access to the games on the field to know where to put the cash in your pocket. So we're talking a little bit about it in the NFL. The preseason has been very, very surprising. Again, like I said before, seeing a lot of teams winning games, some new offensive schemes, things are working. Just to give you a quick recap, yesterday, my New York Jets did absolutely fabulous on the road. Down in Carolina, rotation number 1, 2, 3. It's just that simple. Beating the Carolina Panthers at home, rotation number 124, 27-0. So let's take a look at this game because a lot of people figured that the Carolina Panthers -3 were an easy win. But I already tried to explain this to you guys in the preview for that NFC South. A lot of questions down in Carolina Panther land, but the New York Jets are a dog that is barking this year. We saw Zach Wilson come in. He didn't stink it up. He played a decent game, gave himself some opportunities to prove that he can still play in this league. 14 of 20, 123 yards, no interceptions, and a touchdown. So we look at this New York Jets team and you ask yourself, is this the year that you can bet them in that AFC East? And I've already said that they are a team that you should watch. You know, I'm going to be a homer here. Again, shout out to my folks over in New York City. They're always listening with us here. KSHP.com, 107.1 FM here in Las Vegas, 1400 AM, VSX Digital Sports Networks. You can also get us over on iHeart. So, Ron, talk to me about what you saw yesterday because, again, the Jets managed the game well, got a complete shutout. I didn't see a lot of issues with their offensive play calling. I think that if Robert Saleh is able to maintain this intensity level with the Jets, the focus, and also very few mistakes, I think the Jets have got a very good chance to win that division this year. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with that. Jets are going to be very competitive, very tough in every game. I mean, Rodgers alone, his experience is going to fix some of their problems from last year. They just had some inexperienced problems last year.
Yeah, man, it was just, you know.
Nobody expected them to be as good as they were.
Yeah, you had Wilson under center. I mean, you know, like I said, he played a little bit better yesterday, but those performances were few and far in between. But go ahead.
Yeah, people forget, too, they had their running back, blow his knee out. What was it, in game 2, game 3 last year? Brees Hall they lost?
Right, Brees Hall. So, I mean, again, you had another issue costing you money. Go ahead.
The Jets are going to be good this year. The Jets are a very good team. They're built properly.
I like the coaching scheme. I like the offensive scheme. Now, let's talk a little bit about those Carolina Panthers because, as you said before, when we talked about the Carolina Panthers, questions at quarterback, changing head coaches, typically teams that come into seasons as this year, again, no more Matt Rule, no more Sam Darnold. You got rookies back there, and he didn't do too much. Bryce Young did absolutely nothing. So when you talk about it from that perspective, from the rookie perspective, how do you expect to see Bryce Young come along in this first season? Because like I said, yesterday, he couldn't even put any points on the board for the team. And that's not really what you want to see. 4 of 6, 21 yards. I mean, he was completely out of his league. And I'm telling you right now, when you've got guys like that on the squad, especially coming into the regular season, again, we've already played about 2.5 going into 3 games, getting into that third game of the preseason coming up very shortly this week. Again, watch it on FUBO TV, FUBOTV.com/JB. That is 15% off and 7 days free. I just don't see the Carolina Panthers doing too much this year. They may send a few guys to the Pro Bowl, but I'm thinking 3-4 wins tops. But let's move along to another game yesterday that was on the line. Very, very good. I saw that this team, again, they were picked to win their division. Let's talk about them. The Jacksonville Jaguars, man. Rotation number 125. And their preseason matchup down in Dallas. Dallas, the Cowboys, again, still having problems closing out games. Doesn't matter if you're third or fourth string. These guys are playing for a job. So, again, all those folks out there complaining about the preseason, this is where money can be made. But Jacksonville taking down the win 28-23. You saw these guys come out and play hard. And Jacksonville, as you know, last year, they always hung around, ended up making it to the playoffs, and most importantly, the focus. When you see what Jacksonville has been able to do, they even gave Trevor Lawrence a few reps, 36 yards, a touchdown, 5 of 6. I mean, come on, he's the starter. They got C.J. Beathard back there. All right, Trevor Lawrence did throw a pick yesterday, but again, he's just warming up, getting himself going. And Nick Rourke, 9 of 17, 153 yards and a touchdown. So again, to go to the rushing side of the football, you talk about that guy again, Rourke, the quarterback, C.J. Beathard. The quarterbacks were doing it for this team yesterday. So I think Doug Peterson has decided to say, look, allow me to let my quarterbacks do a little bit more than hang out in the pocket, give us some options from the run game, because as you know, the running back as a position hasn't been producing very much. You saw Travis Etienne. He got out there yesterday, 5 carries, 22 yards. His long carry was 13 yards. That ain't going to get it done. But the quarterback play has been the star power for this Jacksonville Jaguars team. So what do you think about the Jaguars going forward? Because like I said before, they are poised to win that AFC South. A lot of people are thinking that they are the favorites. Doug Peterson, his pedigree, and the quality of players that they have. Again, I'm not knocking Etienne. He'll be ready for the first game of week 1. But talking about it from the perspective of the Jacksonville Jaguars, did you like that offensive scheme that you saw yesterday, using the quarterbacks primarily in scoring position? Go ahead.
Yes and no. I mean, it's effective, but you can lose people. You lose your personnel doing that. I mean, I used to see the Chargers last year running Justin Herbert everywhere, and he got hit a lot.
Yeah, man, I remember that.
I don't like having that part of the scheme. You know, I mean, it's okay at times, but it's not good when you got your quarterback leading your rushing attack, you know, and you're doing things like that. It never works out well, you know, in the long run. But they've got Trevor Lawrence. I think it's preseason. I think they wanted to see more out of these young quarterbacks, wanted to put the ball in their hands and see what they would do with it. Because during the regular season, Trevor Lawrence ain't going to be running around like that. So
that's what I'm saying. Now, going over to the Dallas Cowboys side, rookie Cooper Rush, 10 of 12, 83 yards, no TDs, no interceptions. But let's talk about this guy that they got coming out, Will Grier. Very, very good showing. He didn't get the win, but he had some pretty good stats here, man. And you're talking about a young man, like I said before, these undrafted free agents, you always like to see them play well, but you want to make sure that if they're going to be the backup or maybe even sneak in to be a starter, that they can keep you close. And the Dallas Cowboys did do that. They were the money line dog yesterday. They weren't able to get you where you wanted to be. But at 22 of 31, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. So the Dallas Cowboys coming into this season, Dak Prescott, you don't have any Ezekiel Elliott. You still got CeeDee Lamb. And I wanted to talk a little bit about their wide receivers, because from Dez Bryant on down, these guys have been picking up these top wide receivers in the first round, and they haven't been able to produce that magic that you saw back in the day with guys like Michael Irvin. You know, they've been looking for that zip, that bang, that deep ball threat. What do you think that the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to do to be competitive? Because, again, they got the big stadium. Jerry Jones is getting really, really long in the tooth as an owner. They've got the coaches they want. But from an offensive standpoint, do you think the Cowboys finally get over the hump this year, especially when Dak Prescott comes back? Go ahead.
Well, the biggest problem the Cowboys have is they got the Eagles in their division. That's a problem. I just had to go there. But Prescott's a good quarterback. Is he a great quarterback? I don't think so. Is he, the second coming of, Johnny Unitas? No. He's a good quarterback. He's got good talent around him, but they still have a few holes here and there. This isn't the best roster, and now they let Elliott go. So they got Tony Pollard, which is really good, but he's also been very tender and injury prone sometimes. So they better get some backups. They better have somebody lined up for that.
Got to have somebody.
Elliott, you got to have somebody. And we talk about it with the running back position. These guys get battered every game. It's just inevitable. They're not going to make it to the season, most running backs.
Right.
You're going to miss some time. I mean, you got guys just nailing you all game long. And I just don't see them as a viable Super Bowl option. Now, yes, they do have players. And their defense, they kept Dan Quinn, and Micah Parsons is pretty special. So defensively, I like what they got going on there. I really do. If the offense can keep pace with them and not create any turnovers, I think they're going to be okay. But I still think they're going to fall short of the Eagles.
Right.
I just don't think they have the talent to match them.
Right. Well, let's move over back to the NFC. The Bears went up against the Titans yesterday and got a pretty good preseason win. I like what I saw out of Justin Fields. I like seeing what these second-year quarterbacks are doing. A lot of the head coaches are letting them get a few reps, but yesterday Justin Fields looks like he played a pretty full game, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, you got to give this guy credit where credit is due. Seeing this type of progression with Justin Fields in his second season. Last year, he really tried to carry the Chicago Bears on his back. He got hit a lot, like you said, coming out of the pocket, trying to be a scrambler. But he was very, very efficient yesterday. And on the other side of the ball, we got to see Malik Willis. Didn't get too much done, man. They were Moneyline dogs on the road again, losing 17-23. The Chicago Bears getting that win. Rotation number 120, Tennessee rotation number 119. Malik Willis, 16-25, 189 yards and a pick. What's going on? Because right behind him, you had Will Levis, 9-14, 85 yards, and another pick. No touchdowns through the air with the backup quarterbacks to Ryan Tannehill down in Tennessee. And again, give a shout out to my main man, Mark Hayes, station producer, one of our football experts. Again, he played DB back at UNLV in the mid-90s, and he was talking about this when we did the AFC South, and he was very, very clear. He said that the Tennessee Titans are in trouble this year, and they've got a lot of issues at the quarterback position. And we saw some of that yesterday with, again, Malik Willis and Will Levis. These two guys did not put a touchdown on the board. So when you talk about these high-level draft picks or highly touted draft picks, again, Malik Willis was a third-rounder, but Will Levis going in that high second round, did you think you would see a little bit more from him as far as the accuracy, which, again, we did see that pick yesterday. And, again, Malik Willis also threw a pick. So when you talk about it, like I said, from that perspective, what is going to happen in Tennessee Titans land this year? Are they going to be a 4, 5, 6-win team? Try to have Derrick Henry carry the team? What say ye? Go ahead.
Well, Malik Willis's interception was off a receiver's hand, so his wasn't too bad. It was a little high the pass, but it wasn't, like a misfire. So it wasn't a complete bomb on that one.
Danger.
Tennessee they have a good roster still. They still have capabilities. They still have a good coach in Mike Vrabel. It's just going to be a matter of it's basically been Ryan Tannehill with this team for the last few years. As he goes, they go. Derrick Henry's going to do his thing. These other guys are going to be in. They're going to smack you in the mouth. But Ryan Tannehill has games too many times every season where he turns the ball over. He's inefficient. And those 2 or 3 times a year, it kills them every season.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
They need to avoid that. If they can avoid that, they got a good chance.
Well, like I said before, the Tennessee Titans, I did not like what I saw out of the rookie quarterbacks. Second-year guys, you got to pick it up. But let's jump into today's game, again, being brought to you by our friends over at BetUS. Be sure to get over to BetUS.com in a legal jurisdiction over legal age and sign up. Use offer code 125, that's VSX 125, to get you where you want to be. And if you need some gambling help, be sure to go find it. Now, talking about preseason today, got a 1 o'clock game, got a 4 o'clock game. Rotation number 131, the Kansas City Chiefs are 1-point dogs, minus 103 on the point spread, +1, +105 on the money line. Totals 37.5, playing against the New Orleans Saints. Now, the reason we're talking about this game, because our guy Derek Carr is playing down in New Orleans now. Again, like I said before, had to make that trade for Jimmy G. We'll get into this Raiders game when we finish this up and come back from this short commercial break. But the Kansas City Chiefs today, road dogs, +132. 132 for the New Orleans Saints on the rotation number -1, -125. Again, it's preseason. This game doesn't have so much value per se, but when you talk about possibly Derek Carr maybe getting out there, getting a few reps, what do you think that these New Orleans Saints are going to be able to do today? As far as the offensive scheme, I know they've got Alvin Kamara with some issues that he got into out in Vegas. He's been suspended for the first couple of games, but they brought in a couple of other running backs, and that's a very important thing for the New Orleans Saints. They've been a running back heavy team over the last decade, and they're still trying to develop now into a playoff squad. So when you talk about that game today being so close on the line, it's kind of a pick 'em. Which way would you go with that? Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to go with the Chiefs just because I just got a Syracuse to win this game. I don't know why. But it's preseason. I'm going to Chiefs.
All right, Ron, you stay on the line. When I get back, we'll talk about this Raiders game. Again, you guys can catch that game on FUBO TV. Go to FUBOTV.com/JB. Going to be hooking you up with that 15% off. 7 days free, saving your money. Don't get cabled. Get FUBO TV. And then after Ron, we got my main man, John Ryan from the Predictive Sports Playbook. Going to be giving you some college football, shifting a little bit, moving over to the Big Ten, talking about the conference that is poaching all of our West Coast teams here from the Pac-12. So we're going to let you know this year it's going to be another one of those resume years. You know there's issues over with Michigan. A lot to get into. And then, of course, my main man, Scotty, beam him up, Webb, East Coast Sports Investors, MLBDaily.com. Going to be giving you those Sunday baseball picks. So you guys keep it locked here. KSHP 107.1, AM 1400, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. Go to my website, VegasScoreboardExpress.com, and be sure to click the Drizzly. That's right. If you're over age 21, we can deliver that party alcohol for your football gatherings right to your front door. So don't drink and drive. Get the Drizzly. I'll be back after this short commercial break, and we're going to continue to get that money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you that grease.
Kick off the football season with Drizzly.com. Score big with your favorite drinks delivered right to your doorstep. From ice cold brews to game day cocktails, we've got the perfect lineup for your football gatherings. Visit VegasScoreboardExpress.com and click the Drizzly. Now let's get the party started. Drink responsibly. Must be of legal drinking age. Delivery and availability may vary.
The best choice for convenience, comfort, and value, My Place hotels are ideal for both short-term and long-term travelers. The rooms at My Place features pillow-top mattresses, microfiber bedding, and a variety of soft and firm pillows. All extended stay rooms offer their own kitchen, which includes a full-size refrigerator and a cooktop. On-site laundry facilities are also available for extended stays at pet-friendly My Place hotels. Book your stays online at myplacehotels.com. My Place Hotels, St. George and West Jordan, Utah. Make My Place your place.
Skip your cable bill this month and join the action with JB and FUBO TV. Get 7 days free, 15% off your first month. No credit check, no deposit, no installation hassle. Go to FUBOTV.com/JB. Sign up, download the app, and start watching games.
Enjoy being a subscriber after the first month. Easy cancellation anytime. Regional restrictions apply. Sign up at VegasScoreboardExpress.com.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you that grease.
JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, back at you live here. Got my main man, Ron, third down, best bets on the line with me, getting ready to get into this Raiders game. Again, being brought to you by FUBO TV. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me this morning. Every Saturday and Sunday, going to be bringing you guys the grease, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time. So, Ron, jumping into this Raiders game today, first game of the Raiders preseason. Very excited about that. Got the San Francisco 49ers on deck today. Rotation number 133, 49ers -4. Raiders at home here in Las Vegas, +4. Talking about it from the perspective of maybe this will be the year that the Raiders get over the hump. And you talk about it from a totals perspective, looking at that offense, 36. So these teams only got to score 18 points. Can the Raiders get 3 touchdowns today to at least get close to putting it in that over? We know San Francisco's got some dynamic offense, but out of camp, we heard yesterday that the Raiders were picking off all the quarterbacks for the 49ers. That secondary has picked it up. That linebacker core has picked it up. Raiders have been really focused on defense. I got some news yesterday. Finally got some breakdown of what's been coming out of camp. The offense is clicking on all cylinders. Michael the Mask Myers. You heard Jimmy G say it yourself yesterday in the press conference. You heard it from me first, JB the Ticket. I'm always giving you that grease. But I told you that Mike Myers came in ready to play. He's all business. He's all ball. And you heard it from our quarterback, Jimmy G, yesterday, saying again, the guy's a machine. He comes in. He's ready to play. Mike Myers, day 1 starter. And then also mentioned yesterday again, 7th round draft pick. But again, this guy should have been in a higher round Lucky that we got him. Nestor Jade Silvera. Guy is a unit. He's killing everybody in one-on-ones. He should be on the left side of that defensive line as a great defensive tackle for us. So again, Ron, talking about this game today, the Las Vegas Raiders. Do you think there's any chance that these guys can pull out a home dog win? A win is a win, preseason or not. Got to start posting some wins up in Allegiant Stadium. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to pick them today. I'm going with the Raiders today. I think they're going to win today.
I definitely think the Raiders are going to win. You're talking about it, +4, +160 on the money line. I like that money line play. Like I said before, if they were playing in camp yesterday and the defense was locking these guys out, putting them over the hump, and I'm telling you, that was the big issue last year. Could they stop quarterbacks? And they were picking off Brock Purdy. They picked off a lot of guys, every single guy. Trey Lance, of course. You know that guy was throwing ducks. I'm just saying. But the reality is the Raiders are poised to put some cash in your pocket. So, Ron, again, I thank you so much for stopping by the big board today. Any shout-outs before I let you go? Going to be getting my main man, John Ryan, on the line, Predictive Sports Playbook, jumping into this Big 10 preview, telling you where the picks are for the Big 10 Conference this year. You got college football starting up really, really quick. Again, you guys are going to want to get over to FUBO TV and get that picked up. But again, Ron, thank you so much for stopping by. Let's get your shout-outs and then get you onto your betting day. Go ahead.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, I got a quick shout-out for my bro, Jared Garcia. Thank you for listening to the show, bro. You've been a fan ever since we started. And I got to mention, nobody's talking about it out here. Friday night, the Los Angeles Dodgers retired Fernando Valenzuela's number 34 5.
There you go, Fernando Valenzuela.
Fernando, you were awesome. Thank you, Fernando.
Fernando Mania. You guys remember that back in the late 80s. Shout out to Fernando Valenzuela. Also, shout out to all my folks over in the great state of Hawaii, the island of Maui. Our prayers and thoughts are with you. Going through the tragedy of the wildfire. Again, anything you guys can do, help. And listen to Jason Momoa, too. Cancel that vacation. He's like, if you ain't from here, don't come here. So, again, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, thanking Ron so much for coming on the show this morning. You guys out in listener land here in Las Vegas and around the world, keep it locked. When I come back, I got John Ryan from the Predictive Sports Playbook breaking down that college Big 10 preview. You don't want to miss it. Keep it locked, and let's get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you that grease.
Shopping is always easy with the Radio Shopping Show. Whether it's shopping during any one of our live shows right here on AM 1400 or listening live on the KSHP app, you can always call in at 702-221-7283 to pick up great deals with your favorite host. Or shop 24/7 at KSHP.com. Go to KSHP.com and select Shopper's Guide to browse hundreds of businesses featured on the show. Place your order online and we'll have it shipped right to your front door. With so many possibilities, it's hard not to shop.
Skip your cable bill this month and join the action with JB and FUBO TV. Get 7 days free, 15% off your first month. No credit check, no deposit, no installation hassle. Go to FUBOTV.com/JB. Sign up, download the app, and start watching games.
Enjoy being a subscriber after the first month. Easy cancellation anytime. Regional restrictions apply. Sign up at VegasScoreboardExpress.com.
Kick off the football season with Drizzly.com. Score big with your favorite drinks delivered right to your doorstep. From ice cold brews to game day cocktails, we've got the perfect lineup for your football gatherings. Visit VegasScoreboardExpress.com and click the Drizzly. Now let's get the party started.
Drink responsibly. Must be of legal drinking age. Delivery and availability may vary.
Keep it locked with your boy on the ones and twos. Going in on the wheels of steel.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball. That's the truth.
This is it. The cocaine and the crack. They all sound the same to me. There's a war going on outside. No man is safe from.
That's
how I'm living.
That's how we do it. That's just the way it is. That's the reason why I came to you.
Drink
and women and money.
JP the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, back at you live here in Las Vegas, 107.1 FM. All money, all sports, no bull. This is where you come to make the plays that pay. I'm your boss of the big board. Again, you can follow me on Instagram at JP the Ticket. Follow the show over on my website, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. And now, without further ado, I've got him on the line with us this morning, my main man, John Ryan from the Predictive Sports Betting Playbook channel. You can follow him over on the Bird at John Ryan Sports 1. Good morning, John. How you doing?
I'm doing great, JB. How's the weather out there?
Weather is doing great. Nice and warm. Going to be about 105 degrees today. Again, couldn't complain about it. We got football on deck. The Raiders are having their first preseason game. Legion Stadium is finally getting some more action on the gridiron. We're at that time of the year. But I called you this morning to talk some college football, talking that Big 10 college preview. Again, you guys can catch all of these Big 10 games on the Big 10 Network on FUBO TV. Again, go to FUBOTV.com/JB, giving you 15% off. Yes, I'm beating you in the head with it because I'm telling you, when your cable bill comes and it's $500, and they're like, you got to pay a month in advance, and along with the past due, and we'll turn it back on, you're going to wish that you took that deal. So let's jump right into it. Again, the rotation numbers for the Big 10, talking about those Ohio State Buckeyes in the plus. This is another conference with some value. Every single team is in the plus, starting off with Ohio State at plus 160. Now, you know they sent their quarterback last year to the league. And again, you talk about it from the perspective of where do you see this team going? Because as Ryan Day has worked to rebuild and maintain relevance for the Ohio State Buckeyes, and the talent has been there, just haven't been able to get those national championships. What's going on with these Ohio State Buckeyes? They got them on the line with 10.5 wins is the over and under. The only loss last year they had was at Michigan, and we'll talk about those Michigan Wolverines shortly. But I'm very, very interested to see what Ohio State is going to do at the quarterback position, because as I said before, haven't heard a lot about who's going to be starting. We haven't seen a lot of information about their running backs, their wide receivers. All of the news has been about the coach, Ryan Day. So give us some inside scoop on these Ohio State Buckeyes. Go ahead.
Well, I think they're going to be a very good team this year, JB. I do think they're coming into the season a bit overhyped, and that's the public betting. You know, everybody wants to bet Ohio State and Michigan, and for justified reasons. You know, they were pretty good teams last year, right? But what people assume is that they're going to keep being good teams. Really, the only team I see out there in the landscape, nationally speaking, is I think the Georgia Bulldogs have a very good chance of doing the three-peat performance. They did have Oklahoma on their schedule, but due to the situation with the merging of conferences, that game is no longer on the schedule. And they really don't have a game until November, I believe it's right before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be the only challenge, getting them to the SEC title game. And, you know, I see them certainly being in the playoffs. I do see Ohio State and Michigan being in the playoffs as well. But I would stay away from the wins totals because there's a little thing I call the round robin in the Big 10, and that involves Penn State. And I am very, very bullish on Penn State. I got bullish on them last year. It paid off handsomely.
Mm-hmm.
I think James Franklin has the best offensive line he's ever had under his career, and that includes Vanderbilt. And now they have the dual-headed running backs, including the Singleton, who's the offensive freshman of the year in the Big 10. And this kid, Alar, wait till you see this kid throw the ball. I've seen film on him now, and he's a sophomore. He's going to make mistakes. Maybe this isn't the year that Penn State, makes it to the championship of the national playoffs. But this is a team and a program that is going to possibly take over the realms of the Georgia Bulldogs when it's time to pass the baton.
Well, now, at their wide receiver position, they got a Heisman candidate in Marvin Harrison Jr., rotation number 912. That's over at BetUS.com. He's coming in at plus 2,500, but they are not sure who's going to be throwing to him. They've got a young man coming in right now. He just picked up a brand new Mercedes-Benz. Talking about Kyle McCord, showing off some of that NIL money. So he's got that. He's out of St. Joseph's Prep School in Philadelphia. Shout out my main man, Ron. Third down best bets in Linwood, Hard Rock, Hamilton, always rocking with us, VSX Digital Sports Network. They've got some guys, man, and it looks like it's a situation where Ryan Day is keeping things quiet because he doesn't want to give too much away to his opponents in the season. They know Marvin Harrison Jr. is there. You've seen the dynamic play of several quarterbacks from Ohio State in the past few seasons, from Justin Fields and various guys. But talking about him in this season to win the Big 10 at plus 160. Again, a lot of public betting, bringing that line down. Do you think there's any value there? Go ahead.
I don't think there's any value doing it now. You really want to wait until one of these teams, the three that I mentioned, has a loss. Once they have a loss and you still like them, because we've seen how many teams make it to the college playoffs with one loss, and all three of these teams could end up with one loss in their little round robin amongst themselves for the last time before they do the realignment. And I definitely see all three of these in the college football playoff with the expansion of that playoff situation and bracket. So, Kyle McCord actually is from my hometown, actually. And if he gets the starting position, it's going to be very interesting. He's 6'3", about 220, so he's maybe an inch short of what the NFL Combine likes to see. But the kid has an arm, and he has great IQ on the field. So, Marvin Harrison cannot be underrated. I mean, look what his father did, and those are the same genes, I believe. So,
there you go.
That's the reason that connection is going to be very, very good. Michigan's defense, the secondary, was torched last year on several occasions. So that's the matchup you want to watch with Ohio State. They run those deep crossing routes that cause everybody trouble. And when they're successful on that, they're a pretty hard team to beat no matter how the Ohio State defense plays.
That's what I am talking about. Now, you were talking about those Michigan Wolverines. Let's jump into it. Michigan right now, rotation number 102, the Michigan Wolverines at plus 180. You know they've got the suspension of the head coach Harbaugh for some violations in the NIL era. I think that is just so ridiculous. But nevertheless, Michigan is trying to get to the national championship. And again, with Harbaugh, it has eluded them. The SEC has had a lock on it. Again, those Georgia Bulldogs barking, maintaining that championship trophy down in Atlanta. So you talk about it again. Michigan going into the season. Who do they have? Corum got hurt last year. We don't know who the quarterback is going to be. We don't know who their stalwart is going to be. And again, you talk about it from a division. You go over to the NCAA Big 10 East Division. Let's take a look at Michigan. They're actually worth less to win their division. Rotation number 1702 at plus 120. So you'll get more value if you think they can contend for the entire conference, but you get less value if they win the division. Go ahead on these Michigan Wolverines.
I like what you said there, JB. Michigan is returning 8 players, including their quarterback McCarthy from last year on offense, and they're also returning 8 on defense. And I do think that the defense of Michigan is going to be one of the best in the country. It's going to resemble kind of what the Georgia Bulldogs have done in recent years. And it's just a question of whether their offense can get the job done. Certainly, J.J. McCarthy had an outstanding year last year. Can he repeat that back-to-back year? It's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. At wide receiver, you have Cornelius Johnson and Darius Clemens looking to be the starters, with Roman Wilson being the third wide receiver in those 4 wide receiver sets, along with tight end Colston Loveland, which I think is good. He's a sophomore, and he's another kid to watch on your radar, because I think this kid is going to be an excellent receiver who can also play the slot position and get matched up against a much slower linebacker. So I think that's a matchup that Michigan has a tremendous advantage with. And, even though it's lower marginally than Ohio State, I think, you wait till one of these teams has a loss. But let's say they don't have a loss, and now they both beat Penn State on the schedule, and they're going to play that last game of the season. If you like Michigan to win that game, it's probably better to take the futures line than actually betting the game line. I really suspect there'll be a lot more value in betting the futures line to win the Big 10 than just simply beating Ohio State. So keep that in mind, too, once we get there.
That's what I'm talking about. You guys are listening to my main man, John Ryan, Predictive Sports Betting Playbook. Follow him over on Twitter at John Ryan Sports 1. Let's move down to, again, your home state, right under Michigan, rotation number 103, the Penn State Nittany Lions. Looking like some value there, plus 550. You're talking about them from the division, rotation number 1703 to win the Big 10 East division at plus 450. So again, more value to win the conference, but not too much of a drop off for Penn State to win their division. Only $100. So when you say it from that perspective, which is the better value for Penn State here? I think the value is in winning that division. I know they've got Ohio State. I know they've got Michigan, but Penn State was right there last year. Very, very strong, and there's high expectations for your Nittany Lions. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the reason you're getting tremendous value here with Penn State, and the reason is because Ohio State and Michigan is drawing all the money, and they're drawing all the money in equal amounts so far. So that's pushing Penn State higher and higher because the money has to be balanced out among the odds.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think at plus 550, which I have gone to the window and bet twice now with some pizza money bet, nothing crazy. I do think they represent the best value right now in the Big Ten to bet to win not just the division, but also the Big Ten title. And then, you know what, JB, at 25-1, and I may be a year early on this team, and who knows, they may never win a national championship under these kids, especially that quarterback Lawler. But at 25-1, it's too good to be true to me, and I think that line, you're going to see that line steadily go lower and lower and lower as those Michigan-Ohio State matchups come up on the schedule.
Now let's talk about it from the win total perspective, because last year Penn State did make it to a bowl game, 7 wins. They had 6 losses. The year before that, they went 4-5. So they're steadily moving up the ladder. 9.5 wins. Do you think there's some value there? Taking the total for Penn State. Go ahead.
And what line are you seeing on that one, JB?
Well, right now over on BetUS, if you're taking a look at it, the line for Penn State, let me pull that up for you. I think you're going to be able to get with that total win of about plus 180. So I think there's some value there. Again, this is a college football conference that is always bet high. Everybody thinks they're going to do a lot. And then it comes time to playoffs, you had TCU get in there last year. So again, the Penn State Nittany Lions, there's nowhere to go for them but up. And you talk about it from the perspective of where they were a season ago and the season before that. They have been making steady improvements. I think 9.5 will be pretty good for them. Go ahead.
I agree 100%. They will be 6-0 going into the Ohio State game. They have West Virginia, Delaware, at Illinois, home against Iowa, which is going to be a whiteout game for them. And it's never seen that on TV, folks. It's 111,000 fans, all dressed in white in the second biggest stadium in the country, and it is a sight to behold. It's very, very difficult for an opposing team to come in and win on a whiteout night. Northwestern, who has all kinds of problems, UMass, then Ohio State on October 21st. Then they play Indiana at Maryland. Then they have the showdown with Michigan on November 11th. Then they play Rutgers at home and then at Michigan State. So if they win one of the Michigan or Ohio State games, I see them getting 11 wins. At that point, they would only have a loss to maybe Ohio State or Michigan, and possibly a stumbling block at Michigan State, because that's a hard place to go and play in East Lansing, Michigan in late November with the winter weather.
Right.
But Penn State's used to that, so I see them winning 11 games, JB.
That's what I'm talking about. John Ryan, Predictive Sports Playbook. Thank you so much for stopping by the big board today. You guys be sure to check him out over on Twitter at John Ryan Sports 1. Any shout outs, be sure to tell the fans where they can go and pick up your sports analysis and packages daily and do more preparation for this college football season. Go ahead.
Thanks, JB. I write a lot of articles for rotowire.com. My partner, Jim Coventry over there, definitely check him out for the DFS. He was nominated as the National Writer of the Year this year, so he really knows what he's doing. Highly recommend him. And my website, predictiveplaybook.com, is going through a massive remake, transferring all my databases over there. And then once I get that going, you're going to get some free analytics that I'm guaranteeing is going to blow your mind and hopefully line your pockets with more money.
There you go, John. Thank you so much for stopping by the big board. Sounds like you got one of those headsets there that's giving you a little bit of trouble. But again, you guys check him out, John Ryan Sports 1 over on The Bird. When I get back from this short commercial break, we're going to be bringing him in. Scotty, beam him up, Webb. Finally got your Sunday baseball picks back. Again, being brought to you by FUBO TV and our partners over at Drizzly.com. Get that alcohol delivered to your front door. Don't drink and drive. Over age 21. Save a ton of money. Go to VegasScoreboardExpress.com and click the Drizzly. When I get back from this short commercial break, we're going to make some money with you in baseball. So let's keep it locked and beat the line.
listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Tech Act. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
Skip your cable bill this month and join the action with JB and FUBO TV. Get 7 days free, 15% off your first month. No credit check, no deposit, no installation hassle. Go to FUBOTV.com/JB. Sign up, download the app, and start watching games.
Enjoy being a subscriber after the first month. Easy cancellation anytime. Regional restrictions apply. Sign up at VegasScoreboardExpress.com.
Kick off the football season with Drizzly.com. Score big with your favorite drinks delivered right to your doorstep. From ice cold brews to game day cocktails, we've got the perfect lineup for your football gatherings. Visit VegasScoreboardExpress.com and click the Drizzly. Now let's get the party started. Drink responsibly. Must be of legal drinking age. Delivery and availability may vary.
You're tuned into the BSX Digital Sports Network. You're listening to the boss of the big ball.
If you have money, you can buy anything.
JB the Tech Act.
Fire, more heat.
Vegas Scoreboard Express.
Giving you that grease.
JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. Got my main man, Scotty, Beaver on Webb. He's on the line with us right now. Scotty, good morning to you. How you doing, brother? I'm doing good, man. Those technical difficulties, man, I don't know what's going on in this. But I'm so glad to have you here this morning to talk some baseball with us. Get those baseball picks going. Again, you guys can check Scotty out over on Twitter at Webby20MLB. Check out his website, MLB-daily.com. I am ready to jump into it. The fans need to get those picks. Scotty, let's get right on the game. Talking to you about this baseball being brought again to you by BetUS.com. Go to BetUS.com in all legal jurisdictions. Use offer code VSX125 for that 125% bonus. And, of course, if you have gambling problems, get some help. So baseball is heating up. We're getting ready to start moving into the playoff season. And there are teams that Scotty told you early on in the summer when we first started doing these Sunday baseball segments that are just going to tear it up this year. The first team you want to talk about are the Atlanta Braves. Man, these guys have ran away in baseball. 75 wins. Only 41 losses, 38-21 on the road. Run line is respectable at 60-56, and their last 10, 6-4. They are on the road today. Rotation number 953, the Atlanta Braves on the road at rotation number 954, my hapless New York Mets. They have destroyed their season yet again, and the Mets are just looking to possibly get slaughtered again by these Atlanta Braves. Atlanta's got Yoni Chirinos on the mound. He's a right-hander. And for the Mets, they've got Kodai Senga. What say ye, Scotty? Where's the money to be made today? Go ahead.
Well, this is not necessarily a good matchup for the Braves tonight. They beat up the Mets the last couple of days. The Mets are, a team that, is kind of on the downside, trying to trade players. They're trying to get younger. They're trying to build for next season. But Senga's a pretty good pitcher, and what I would say is that Chirinos gets hit. So he's not a strikeout guy, and he hasn't pitched real well for Atlanta since he got moved over there from the Rays, and he wasn't that good with the Rays either. So this one we're here is, it's a Sunday night game. Atlanta can hit, but they really haven't seen Senga much. So I think Atlanta, the Mets have a reasonable chance of being in this game. It's a home underdog situation. My thought would be is in the first 5 innings, it's better to take Senga. It's not good to be playing on the Mets in the back half of the game because, Atlanta can score, 10 runs in the back half of the game. So I would take the New York Mets in the first 5 innings today.
Talking about taking them on that run line, let's move down the list to another game, another team that has been absolutely tearing it up. Your hometown, Tampa Bay Rays. Rotation number 962. They've got Zach Eflin on the mound today, minus 198, going up against those Cleveland Guardians. Again, the Guardians plus 164, rotation number 961. Now, Tampa Bay also has over 70 wins this season. They've been tearing it up, looking like they're trying to get back to World Series form. So let's talk about these guys a little bit. Do you think there's some value? And go ahead and land that big money line with the Tampa Bay Rays today, because again, even though Cleveland has been good, it doesn't look like they're going to be going back to the playoffs. And again, I'm seeing two different pitchers. And no, I got it. Tanner Beebe is going to be on the mound for the Cleveland Guardians. So Cleveland right now plus 1.5 on the run line, plus 164 on the money line. The total is 7.5. I'm liking the over in this particular game because Tampa Bay at home, Eflin, it's kind of hard to hit, and I like what the bats have been able to do for the Tampa Bay Rays. Rotation number 962 at minus 184. It could be expensive, but I'm thinking it might be an anchor bet for a parlay ticket. Go ahead.
Well, I don't like the Rays today. You know, the Rays have won against Cleveland the last 2 nights on walk-off style fashion. You know, the bottom of the 9th inning, they've had to come back and win these games. Bivey, who's pitching for Cleveland, their best pitcher, and he pitches pretty well. And Eflin's the best pitcher for Tampa Bay. That's why the run line's so low. The total's so low at 7.5. I think there's going to be one of these games where it's probably better to take Cleveland and take the run line if you want to, plus 1.5, or even take a shot at the big money because Eflin, even though he's the best pitcher that Tampa Bay has, he's not a big strikeout guy either. So I think balls are going to be put in play here, and I think that gives Cleveland a fighting chance anyway.
That's what I'm talking about. Scotty, beam him up, Webb, from the East Coast Sports Investors and MLBDaily.com. Scotty, we're going to throw one more at you. You got about 15 seconds. Another team that I was interested in taking a look at today. They haven't done much with their superstars, but they are going over to a very, very tough team who has made it a point to be relevant in Major League Baseball. Talking about those L.A. Angels, rotation number 963 on the road today down in Houston, going up against the Astros, rotation number 964. The open total line is 9. Houston minus 144 on the money line, plus 1.5 again for the Angels. When you talk about it from that perspective, where do you think some value can be? Because the Angels are starting Silseth and the Astros are starting Urquidy. Go ahead.
Well, Silseth is a relief pitcher that they've stretched out, and he's doing pretty good the last few starts. Hasn't faced much of Houston. Urquidy's been real good against the Angels, but he's on his second start since his time off on the IL. I think this is an over situation. I think both these guys get hit today.
That's what I'm talking about. Scotty, beam him up, Webb. Thank you so much for stopping by the big board for those baseball picks. Again, you guys go to his website, MLB-Daily.com. Scotty, any shout-outs, and then I'll go ahead and get you out of here, brother. Go ahead.
Well, it's hot down here in Florida, man. The shout-out is the Mother Nature. Start making it cooler.
Scotty, beam him up, Webb. Thank you so much for stopping by the big board today. Again, you guys can check him out over on his website at MLB-Daily.com. Thank you guys so much for listening this morning. That's the end of the show. Vegas Scoreboard Express. We'll be back next week. More football, all money, all sports, no bull. Follow the show on Apple Podcasts. Follow me on Instagram at JP The Ticket. So you know what time it is. Time to grab your bankroll. Hit the window and beat the line. Give a shout out again to my guys, John Ryan, Predictive Sports Playbook, giving you that Big 10 preview. Ron, Third Down, Best Bets, and the rest of the VSX crew. It's betting time, people. Get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball.
Vegas Radio Shopping Show weekday on 1400 KSHP North Las Vegas and KSHP.com.